Hi, Howard. Yeah, welcome to my little home. Yeah, and I have some questions for you. All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Yeah.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah. During the top 100 event, it was an event full of energy and activities, and my observation is that you have successfully created an organic vacuum space for everyone, leaders and Norwex team, to break barriers and giving their super best. I noticed that you have fully committed and you have your commitment and energy, and it has given us all the assurance and support we needed to grow together locally and regionally. I just wanted to ask you some questions. So based on your experience, I have 3 questions here. All right? Okay.
No problem.
Okay, so question number 1, can you share some pointers or advice for Malaysia and Singapore leaders?
Sure. Thank you, Michael, for having me here today. You guys have a beautiful house, and I really enjoy the company here. To answer, obviously, one of the first question is something which I want to share with the leader, which is also something I shared during the Asia Top 100 presentation, is the importance of time. One of the things which I've heard from a lot of leaders when I go around Malaysia is, Howard, I'm doing this part-time. I'm only spending 2 hours doing this. How can I do this? How can I compete with people who spend 8 hours doing this? My advice to everyone is, there's no such thing as part-time and full-time. There's only time. So for every minute, if you decide to do Norwex, putting 100 and 200% into that time. Remember, it's about the quality of the time which you're putting instead of quality of the time. And whatever the time you're putting, whether it's 1 hour, 2 hours, it's not part-time, full-time, it's 1 hour and 2 hours will never get back from your life. So my first advice, always go 100%. Appreciate the time.
Okay, so it's about time, right? Okay, good, very good. So now let's come to question number 2, In fact, I wanted to ask you about the areas of focus that we as leaders should be focusing on. And maybe before that, let me share you what I do.
Sure.
Let me share you what I do, and maybe you can give some comment and feedback to what I do,
No problem.
So in our business, when we grow our business, we always talk about few steps. And I always coin it as 1, 2, 3 plus, okay? And the point number 1, I always tell our friends and leaders is that you have to be 100% users. Yeah. In order to grow a big business, you need to be the 100% users. You cannot be a 50% users and you want to be a full-time business builders in this particular business. So being 100% users are very important, all right? This is point number 1. For us, point number 2 is important. I think equally important as number 2, which is about prospecting. This business is always about prospecting. You need to always develop your skills, improving your skills to do prospecting. You have to keep learning. And point number 3 is about listing. All right, listing is about when you prospect someone, let's say A, then you have to go to A and ask A, who are your friends, 100 friends or 100 people that you know of? So these are the listing, these are the people that you can go back to do parties. These are the people that you can talk to, promote the product and promote the whatever plan that we have. So the number 3 is listing. And number 4, of course, I always say that we need to always improve ourselves. So reading a book or watching a positive video is very important to keep yourself on track all the time. So this is what we do, and always put it very simply, and we say that it's 1, 2, 3 and plus. So when you go to plus, after that you go back to 1 again, then you go to 2, 3 plus, then you go back to 1. So this is a cycle. So this is what we do. So what do you think about it?
It's perfect. I'm learning today something new already. And I think Michael touched on a very good point. For me, there's no secret success of selling, right? Because we are in selling industry. I think the key is really about practice and planning. So let me elaborate. What Michael just touched on, 1, 2, 3, is really about practicing. You need to practice, right? There's no best seller if you don't practice. And I'm not saying you need to practice the whole selling prospect, the pitch. Practice the first 2 minutes, the 3 minutes. How do you want to open your prospect? How do you want to pitch? How do you want to address your audiences? Right? Practice that. So people will think you are a natural. So practice, makes consistency. Consistency makes perfection. The second thing is planning. I cannot really emphasize the importance of planning. And I think 95% of the salespeople, they never plan because that is just not in their DNA. But planning can be extremely powerful, right? When you plan about the people which you'll be talking to, what kind of product you want to offer them. Do a bit of study in terms of, do they have baby in the house? Do they have cats and dog in the house? Is there any allergic problem in the house? Then plan your selling pitch according to the circumstances. So I think together with practice, planning, I think there's no sales we cannot close.
Awesome. All right. So we have to do more practice and more planning on top of 1, 2, 3 plus.
That's right. That's right. We will do it together.
Together. Okay, my last question to you, Howard. Yeah, I think this is a very popular question among the leaders. Okay, I mean these are what I get all the time.
Sure.
Okay, and the question is, they want to find out your ideas or feedback regarding the competition among other industry players for more business builders in Malaysia and also Asia.
Sure. So to answer that question, right, I think the reason I joined Norwex Asia is because this is such a fascinating region of the world. So let's take a step back, right? Focus on the whole region. The entire Asia region accounts for 35% of the global economy. Malaysia, Southeast Asia, we actually got the highest population when it comes to Gen X, Gen Y, Gen Z, which is the young talent who just graduated uni, which is like, you and me 20 or 30 years ago, right? There's much more of them. So the way I look at it, I think the more competition or the more company we have out here, the better it is. This is what I call a business school, right? We are the actual business school that nurture this new talent, right? Who can help us and who can be the future leader to really build our business. And if there's only Norwex, or if there's only one company, Coca-Cola or whatever, doing this, you are not going to have enough business school, real business school, to nurture this talent. So the more the better, right? That means we can nurture more talent. And trust me, we have much more talent, leaders, which we can nurture than the number of competitors we currently facing.
Okay. So shall I say that competition is healthy?
I love competition.
Okay.
I love competition.
Okay, if you listen to Howard, so there's no competition. Competition is good for us. The only way I suppose we have to do is to enhance our competence.
Exactly.
Not about competition, but to enhance our skills, enhance our competition, and become a bigger business builders.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Howard. Thank you for your time. I appreciate your time and your visit to our home. And I hope to see you again.
Thank you, Michael. And that's not just it, right? I always like to return the favor.
Oh, really?
Right? So since Michael asked me all these exciting questions, now it's my time to challenge people.
Oh, I thought this is the end.
Yeah, I like to make people feel a little bit uncomfortable, right? So Michael, let me ask you, right? Again, Alvina and yourself are going to be my one of our most important business partner moving forward, right? So being a very, very founding lover, I heard about your romantic story with Alvina, being a very supportive soulmate, business builder. How can I get more of you into Norwex?
Yeah, this is very interesting question. Yeah, very, very interesting question. How do we get more men into the market? Yeah. If I look at the business landscape, I think until today, even after 3 years, I noticed that there are still more women in the business. Yeah.
Yes.
So the question is how to get more Michael in the business, right? Well, my thought is so simple. When I got into marriage, my first thought is I always want to have breakfast together with my wife, dinner with my wife. So I never miss breakfast. I never miss the dinner with my wife. Okay, that's something which I always do. So I suppose that there's something that husband and wife can do together. I mean, you just need to find a connecting point that's something that you want to do together. Yeah. So the togetherness is very important because by focusing on that point, somehow you would want to do the business together. So you forget about every other things, You just want to feel that focusing on being together and building a big business. Yeah, I suppose that is very important. Yeah, because a lot of times I think couple always focusing on the wrong thing. Yeah, they focus on the wrong thing. I think so. Yeah, for the time being, this is what I can think of why we are doing this business until today, and why we're going to continue to grow the business, because being together is very important going forward as a couple. Because being a couple, I think we can build a very, very big business. Yeah, I think that, I don't know whether that answered your question.
I think Elvina is already in tears, so I think that answers my question. And I think, Michael, to recap, I think that's actually a very important, and that's something you are teaching me today. There is a romantic element that we can build when we do Norwex together.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm learning new things every day. Thank you very much, Michael.
Thank you, Howard. Thank you again for coming to our humble place.
Thank you.
I really appreciate your time, and I really hope that you will visit us again.
For sure.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elvina.
Okay, bye.